Hello and welcome to this OpenTX Quick Tip. Now this is a quick tip that was actually asked for a very long time ago, so I need to say a massive thank you for Gnome, I hope that's how you pronounce that, for asking the question and for being very patient in me getting around to giving the answer. Now what he is after, or she is after, not sure which from the name, what that pilot is after is the ability as they move the throttle for the flaps to be deployed automatically. Now this is something that you may have in a glider, and it's a really cute idea and potentially something that I might do on a couple of my more floaty models. So let me show you how I've done it. And again, there's always multiple ways to do this. This just happens to be the way that I've done it here. So let me just show you how it works. Bring it in as all the radio outputs. So the way it works is the flaps are on channel 5 and they're on a switch by default. So you can put theirs like a 3 position, so that's flaps up. That would be mid flaps, and that might be the limit of the flaps as they descend. However, if you look at the bits at the bottom, I've got 2 flight modes set up. I've got manual flaps and I've got auto flaps. And manual flaps allows me to use that switch and set channel 5 moving around. So keep your eyes on channel 5 so I flick channel 8. Awesome. If I have it in the back position, then I'm in auto flaps and the manual flap switch doesn't do anything. But if I lift the throttle, you'll see that channel 5 gets flaps as well. So in the low position, in this particular way it's set up, and again I'll show you how you can tweak this, it's about half flaps, and then as you increase the throttle it increases that so that at full throttle there's no flaps at all. Now the way I'm doing this, I'm not doing in particular anything clever with global functions or logical switches or anything. I'm being really basic here, and what I'm doing is I'm using the mixers and I'm using a little bit of the throttle channel and then mixing that in that channel 10 that I've created in to create my auto flap connection between the throttle and everything else. So let me just show you that again. So what's happening is channel 10, which you can just see here on the right hand side. All I've done is I've made it a percentage of the throttle channel. Throttle channel by default is here on channel 1, and I've just changed the weight and an offset on here, and the offset and the weight could be anything, so it could be 30 and minus 30. And the reason we're using a minus offset is because the way I want it to work is when the throttle is in its low position, I want it to be a minus number and then to go to 0 in the maximum throttle position. And again, you could change the weights and the offsets for it to work exactly how you want. Now I've got that range now on channel 10. I can use that range to add it into the flap channel, which is channel 5, and call it auto flap, because we don't have enough letters. Source is channel 10, which is the one we've just set up, and just give it a weight and a global value of 100 and 100. Again, you could tweak those so that the travel is exactly what you're after. The only last thing I've done is I have used flight modes, because flight modes are handy for stuff like this. By default, with nothing switched on, it's in auto flap mode, and then once SB is in a particular position or not in the back position, is what the exclamation mark means, then I'm in manual flap mode, and that is what means that there's a little bug in this version of Companion, I think, because it doesn't start off in the right mode. But in the back position we have auto flaps. So as I raise the throttle, it takes the flap off. And again, by changing the weight, I could actually, and the offset, I could change how that relationship between channel 10 and channel 5 happens. Or if I just want to say, you know what, forget that, we'll just go into manual flap and I'll have my manual control if that's the way I want it to work. So that's, hopefully, GNOME is the way that you can have a go at it. Use a little bit of the throttle, set it up on a channel you're not using for outputs, and this is one of those questions I occasionally get, is why do you have all these channels if you can't connect them to a receiver? This is exactly why. You can use channels that you're not using on your receiver to kind of play with for mixes, and then you can mix that little bit of throttle that you're using on to here, onto the flap channel, and then get that to do the things that you need to do. So as your throttle moves, the flap will automatically move, and as you increase the throttle, the flap will gently disappear. Thank you for watching my video and watching right to the very end. If you want to find out what I'm currently working on, you can follow me on social media by searching for Painless360 in the usual places. If you'd like to become part of the inner circle, then you can become a Patreon. Details are in the description and you get lots of additional benefits. Check out the playlist section on the channel too. I organise all of my videos into playlists, and it's called something like Introduction to or for Beginners. All of the content is aimed so that you can start at the very beginning, and it teaches you that subject, starting with simple principles and moving up to teach you everything you need to know.